Midnight music. Midnight music. Midnight music. Midnight music. Midnight music. Midnight music. Midnight music.
I know Zed came a little bit later, but big
I
fan
love
of Zed.
Zed. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I heard Clarity in the club now, I would lose my mind. I
I
might put that on
got-
my wedding playlist. I
That's
might tell the
fine by
DJ
me.
you have to play Clarity.
Working in the nightlife scene so much in post grad work, Clarity annoyed the fuck out of me.
Oh
I
yeah,
had
you
to
probably
hear
heard it every night.
Yes, there are several songs from that era that are ruined for me. Clarity's one of them.
Clarity is such a good song, though.
It's when you hear it every week. You're
No,
like,
I get that.
It needs
I get
to
that.
die.
It drives you
It's-
crazy.
Needs to die a painful death. There was another song that my friend Tommy really kind of oversang. You know Tommy Probine.
Dude, Tommy P. Dude, I love Tommy
Yeah,
P.
Tommy P. He has a horrible singing voice, especially when he's drunk.
Me too. Especially when I'm drunk and
Yeah.
sober.
I forgot what it was. I forgot what the song was, but I remember like he would sing it all the time. He's like, God, this,
How did
I
it
think
go?
Probably Mr. Brightside.
Was not Mr. Brightside. Mr. Brightside is not ruined for me, actually.
Was it Selfie or Closer by the Chainsmokers?
No, it was not. I love Chainsmokers.
Me too. Chainsmokers, really fun.
Closer was a bop, dude. That was a two we played all the time at our parties
Yeah.
junior year at Hofstra.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey, Charles is early. Hey, folks.
Hi, Charles.
Sorority girls love that song. What can I tell you?
What? Closer?
Closer.
Oh yeah. It's a great sorority girl song.
Oh,
Which is funny. Well, I saw Linda Lee the other day.
No way. How's she doing?
She's doing good. So over the weekend I went up to my high school and I helped them run a video game tournament to raise funds for the football team. So
Cute.
or whatever. And so she apparently, I guess works for the high school and was doing like a private tour for a potential family and their student or their child.
Nice.
So she came into the room that we were holding the tournament in, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" So, but she's doing well. I think she just got married
Oh, good for her.
or something like that, or engaged or something.
I think she was my year.
Linda Lee, maybe.
I think so. I don't know. Nash is marrying an AOB, so I'm gonna see a lot of them again at the wedding next year.
Nice.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
AOBs are always a good time. McLeod married an AOB, so I saw a lot of them a few years ago. Do you remember? God, who was that kid who was on our podcast from Hofstra?
That kid who was on our podcast from Hofstra.
I forget his name. God Christ, not Johnny.
Before my time.
Is it the one that came in really hammered and that's how we started frat house wrestling?
No, that was Danny Borneman. Shout out to Danny. He's a lawyer now, I think. No, he was younger than me. Black kid.
Not
from
me.
Philly.
From Philly.
Christ. No, he was on our show like last year.
Black kid from Philly on our show last year.
Oh,
That
it's
you
gonna drive
knew?
me
Not
crazy.
Jonathan Valerio.
Jonathan, that was it. Jonathan Valerio.
I thought Jonathan was Hispanic.
Hispanic man of color, excuse me.
Person of color, but yes.
Person
Okay.
of color. So yeah, he got engaged to an AOB.
Oh, yeah.
My friends. Yeah, I forget her name too. God, I'm terrible. But regardless, not Kate. Christ, I'm terrible. I'm going to hell.
Are we well?
I don't remember my own friends.
Well, it just means you're getting closer to 30. That's what it sounds like to
No
me.
kidding, No kidding, dude. You know what it is? It's like all day I just cut short clips, and all day I just listen to YouTube videos while doing something else. So it's like my attention span and memory is just
Shot.
garbage. It's gone. I have no memory, dude. It's terrible.
Start reading books, you get your attention span back. Slowly but surely.
I know. That's
I'm
why
so
I asked for a
close.
Kindle for Christmas.
Nice. Good
It's the
investment.
best thing you'll get. It's the best thing you'll get. It was the best thing I bought this year. I am so close to my Goodreads goal.
Where are you at now?
I just hit book 40.
Nice.
You're trying to do 50, right?
Yeah, I'm 50 by the end of the year.
Okay, yeah. I know I exceeded my goal. I think the last time I checked, I'm at like 78.
Nice.
That's great. My original goal was 100, and then when we got engaged, I immediately cut it. I'm like, no, it's not happening.
I've got planning to do.
Yeah, no, literally. Like, I feel like so much time that I allotted to like hobbies and other shit has been taken from that. But it's all good. It will be
I'm
fun.
gonna like reading before bed. had nothing to do in the office today, like an extra hour just to hang out. I was just reading. So you can get the Kindle app on your phone. So I was just reading comic books. Just
Yeah,
hanging
it's
out,
great.
reading
Wait till
some
you get a
comics.
Kindle, and if you get Kindles are in color or are they black and white?
It would
Black and white.
it depends on the book, probably.
Oh, it's a black and white. Okay.
Like most well, it was anime, so it's like an anime like a Naruto. That's all in black and white anyway.
Well, the Kindle device itself, unless you get the new, I think it's called the color white, all of them are all black and white. Unless you get the new color one. But honestly, like, I personally, like, you would only see color for the cover. It's not worth it, the extra money, in my opinion.
Yeah, I believe that.
Fair enough.
I have
Well,
like,
if you're go ahead, Kay.
regular. I said I have like the regular Kindle, but I have Kindle the one that came with Kindle Unlimited.
Nice. There is
So,
if
It
you're
made a
gonna
difference.
well, if you're gonna do like Charles, you're a wreck. Is if you're gonna do like read comics or whatever like that, do you have like a 2-in-1 laptop, like a foldable?
No, I don't. No.
I would say that's how that's why I don't have a Kindle.
It's way bigger. Yeah.
The screen's bigger, and I can actually like read the comics, and it's like a massive screen that I use for it, and it's freaking
That's
awesome.
cool.
Because then also, and I think in the Kindle app and other comic book reading apps, you can like literally just like double tap the actual square, and you can just read scene by scene instead of reading like the whole page.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool. Square by square is a little better.
You
Yeah.
can read square by square, yeah. And
You know,
so
what it is, 'cause I like reading before bed, and my desk lamp is just annoyingly bright. So it's like Jazz is trying to sleep, and I'm just trying to get the right angle so the light's
I
in
have
my
a
eyes
neck.
and I can still
Oh,
see.
I have a neck lamp for reading. For if I have a book and I want to read in bed, I have a neck
A
lamp.
neck lamp.
And you can,
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
I have a neck lamp, and you can adjust the warmness or coldness of the light. It
Ooh,
was a really
nice.
good. I really liked it, and then I bought a Kindle like a month later, so it hasn't really gotten much use.
You know, Kindle's going to solve this problem. You know, it's also it's the
Honestly-
LED bulb, and I hate LED light bulbs.
Same.
They're too bright, dude. I call them the vanilla bean lighting. Like as opposed to like the regular lights, it's like it's like French vanilla, golden vanilla.
Yeah.
I like the golden vanilla light way better than the vanilla bean.
Fair enough.
See, we lucked out. Our Christmas tree has the regular incandescent lights that aren't LED. But
Yeah.
I
yeah.
also have Christmas tree lights in the bedroom as well, but they're LED, and they're like, it's like a rave in there.
Is that the tree behind you, Kay?
Wait for your electric
Yeah, that's
bill.
our Christmas tree.
You guys have a great tree. I love that tree.
Thank you. My mom bought it for us a couple years ago.
Do you have a pickle ornament?
No, but Boris is getting a Christmas pickle.
Ooh,
Nice.
Yeah, it's a pickle with the Santa hat, and it's in his stocking.
So no elf
Yeah.
on a shelf?
I don't like Elf on the Shelf. I think it's weird.
My uncle
It
Phil
is
likes it too
weird.
much.
It is weird, but that's the
I-
idea of it. It's supposed to be
That's
weird.
I don't like the whole like trying to scare your kids into behaving. I don't like the big brother of it
Oh.
all.
I don't
like-
I just find it funny to put the elf in random odd places.
Well, when I worked at Starbucks, we had a regular who bought our store an Elf on the Shelf. So part of our closing task every night for a month was the fucking elf. So we would put it every night in like really elaborate setups. Like the year The Force Awakens came out, the night it came out, I set up a Star Wars scene. I took one of the newspapers we were getting rid of because it had Star Wars pictures in it, and I cut the faces out and I like attached them to
The elf.
stirrers.
Nice.
No, I attached each face to the stirrers, so it was the elf, and I made a lightsaber for the elf, and I made so he was like fighting them.
Nice.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot.
I like when we have children, I want to like invest a lot of like energy and magic into the holidays and stuff, but the elf for me is not it.
Okay, Charles wants to know where the Festivus poll is at.
It's a fair
I
question.
don't Festivus.
That's fine. You can leave it for the rest of us.
Yeah, there it is. Fretch, you're about a week early for curses, but okay.
Well, this is our last show of the year, so Freds, Happy New Year, you filthy
Yeah.
animal.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
We
and
watched both
happy
Home Alones,
holidays.
so that's a plus. I got to sneak in a Die Hard and a Jingle All the Way before the holiday, so we're almost done with our holiday movies.
Yeah. Oh,
So are
before we
we.
started, I did finally, because I remembered it and I had nothing to do on Sunday. Sunday was like my do nothing day, so I was busy all weekend. I finally finished the Vince doc.
Oh,
Finally.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Tony Atlas is snitching on everybody. I love it.
Oh, Tony Atlas didn't give two fucks, bro. He was so great in that doc.
Tony Atlas was snitching on everybody. Bruce Pritchard is such a Vince McMahon kiss ass. Yeah, all the way.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ,
Bruce Pritchard joined the Kiss My Ass Club willingly.
Pretty much. The only person I really didn't believe in it was Vince, because I don't think Vince believes himself. And like Vince proved his point. He was like, I don't even know who I am anymore.
Yeah.
Problems. There we go. You proved the documentary correct.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
I could
Vince-
tell he was lying about a lot of stuff.
There were a few times where it's just like, "Ugh, Vince, you're so right, but you're just such a piece of shit.
Yeah, like so here's the thing. When he talks business and the business of pro wrestling in the doc, he's very accurate, he's very correct, he's very intelligent as a businessman. You know, when he talks about his personal life, he's lying most of the time.
Do you believe that his dad said he was proud of him and he loved him like the day before he died?
Probably.
No.
You believe that story?
I do kind of I buy that, especially when you look at his family history.
Hmm. I mean, his childhood is crazy.
It's not, and it didn't even scratch the surface of what the alleged stories
Yeah,
are.
and I didn't realize how insane his dad was, but I could totally see Vince like pretending that happened or interpreting it that way, and he told that lie to himself for so many years. Now he just believes it.
That could also be true as well.
Like if you put that up to a lie detector test, I think Vince would pass for telling the truth, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It means he just believes it's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's also a very strong possibility. And I love how one of my favorite things in the docu series was how he was like, "Oh, Mr. McMahon and the person I really am aren't the same," and everybody on the dock was like, "No, that's him."
No, they're the same. They're the same. Yeah.
They're like, no, it's the exact same person.
But it's how he perceives himself. He perceives himself and Mr. McMahon as two different characters, but everyone else can see
it's exactly
who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
it's
stuff.
an exaggeration. I mean, it's virtually the same person. It's just way more exaggerated, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. There's
Maybe.
a couple of other, I think, observations I had.
Poor Shane.
That's one.
I feel so
that
bad
one
for
story
him.
where Vince was like, "You're gonna have to fucking kill me if you want this." I was like, "That's a fucking lot."
I mean, but he's not wrong.
You know, but Shane had a point. Listen, can you imagine if Vince took Shane's advice and he bought UFC before they ended up merging anyways?
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, Vince would have been like the first trillionaire instead of Elon in the next coming years.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And also, what is it? A couple of things. The mental gymnastics Trish Stratus had to do to be like okay with all the stuff she did, especially trying for her to speak about it in the interview. I
thought that was very interesting.
It was interesting
her and Linda had no problem with it. And I think that says a lot. Where it's like, hey guys, it's TV. And she won in the end. You know, she got to beat the shit out of him. And Vince said, go for it. And she's like, all right, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, it was interesting, but it seemed like she was compartmentalizing a lot to kind of convince herself that she was okay with some of the stuff.
Maybe.
You know,
yeah.
Linda's a weird character. Also, Vince as a young dude was jacked.
Yeah, steroids, dude.
No, but but before the steroids, like they showed him when he first met Linda.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was like, oh,
yoked.
He's a yoked dude.
Yoked, dude.
He was a yoked dude. Also, one of my last hours after watching all the stuff, I was like, wow, Brock and Sable have a really fucked up relationship, don't they?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, I was like, this has got to be weird. This has got to be weird. And I think my favorite line was like when Bishop was like, yeah, Vince is going to beat me. He had more resources. He just took my idea and did it better because he had more money.
No, you didn't. You had Ted Turner. What are you talking about? Yeah,
but remember at the time that WCW was going down, they merged, and then all the executives didn't want WCW.
Oh, yeah, well, duh.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, by that time it was too late. Yeah, David Bischoff, you mean, well, Turner really pulled the rug out from under you, and then you fucked up, and you just don't want to admit you fucked up.
It was kind of a sinking ship anyways, but I love how Bishop was like, we beat him for how long? 83 weeks? 83 weeks? Was it 83? 84? No, 83.
It's 83, right? 83.
Yeah, as a subtle promo of his
dude,
podcast.
Eric Bischoff is just so proud to be Mr. May.
I love Bischoff. The same week that he was on NXT, he went to MLW, like the next day.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I love Eric Bischoff. I love Eric Bischoff. I love hearing Eric Bischoff rant on things. Like, have you ever heard Eric Bischoff rant on oh God, he was in the original Four Horsemen in WCW executive. God, I forget. I'm so bad with names tonight.
What?
Not Terry. I think it was Terry Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Is you looking it up right now?
Yep. Horseman.
Mm-hmm.
Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, and Tully Blanchard. It might have been Tully Blanchard.
Oh, we're gonna talk about a Blanchard tonight.
Oh, Tessa? Yeah. Yeah. No, not Tully. It wasn't Tully Blanchard. Let me see. WCW.
Wait, you sure it wasn't Terry Taylor?
It might have been Terry Taylor. Might have been Terry Taylor. Oh God. Extras. Let's go to extras. Commentators, ring announcers, interviewers, host, JJ Dillon.
There it is.
Yeah, he hates J.J. Dillon.
Does he really?
Like passionately, like
Nice.
maybe more than he hates Vince Russo.
You know who I was surprised that didn't get on the dock? Probably because
Cornette.
Yes, I was like, "Where's Cornette?
Where's Cornette?"
I feel like they interviewed him and they were like, "We can't use this." It depends on Cornette's mood. I mean, I think the line of the docu-series was Paul Heyman saying the only monogamous relationship Vince McMahon ever had was with the business of pro wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's 100% correct. He's like, the only one who can control Vince is the business.
Yeah.
And Paul is just like, dude, you just understand psychology like better than most doctors.
Paul Heyman's a flippin' genius, but with Paul saying that, he said everything you needed to know about the allegations about who Vince is as a person. They didn't use a lot of Paul, which I was very surprised at.
Yeah, well, I wonder how much they actually asked him, because remember, he's still employed. He was currently employed by the company.
Yeah.
And employed by Vince at the time of recording, so he probably bit his tongue a little bit too.
Which is he's very good at maneuvering around questions when he needs
yeah.
to.
And he's very smart. It's like, yeah, Vince can manipulate every single relationship in his life except with the business.
Yeah.
The business manipulates him.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, when you think about it,
that's the God complex. The only thing that controls God is the world he creates.
Yeah. And when you think about it, when you think of all the people they had outside of Vince, since he is the star of a docu-series, they probably only had like a day, maybe two with some of these people. So you gotta hammer questions in.
Maybe even half a day of shooting. It's like 4 hours. Who knows?
Something like
yeah, because like they were all wearing the same outfit too, and they could be like, yes, we're the same thing tomorrow, so it's for continuity.
Yeah.
Except they brought Pritchard back in after the allegations came out. And he told us about his wife.
Yeah.
Is that I fucking hate this documentary. It's just like, well, what? What do you mean? I thought it was great. I honestly thought the documentary was very fair.
I thought it was too.
I thought the creators went out of their way to try and be fair and objective and portray Vince in a light where it's like, okay, we can't ignore these allegations, but we also want to tell the true story. But we know you're going to be biased because of the allegations, but we're going to try our best to tell him his side of the story. Yeah. And they include, like, Bruce is like, I bet you won't even include this. And guess what? They did.
Yeah.
Like, you won't include any of the good things to say about Vince. It's like, well, we're going to include what you just said about Vince, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So I thought the filmmakers didn't have it out for Vince, and it was a very well done documentary to document what's actually happening.
They gave Vince a chance to defend himself multiple times.
Yes. And even if they didn't believe it, they aired it anyway.
Yeah, and at times Vince balked on something. He's like, oh, I don't remember that, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, they literally brought it. It was like, remember that article you did for Playboy in 81 where you talked about having an affair? Well, I don't remember saying that. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's in print.
Yeah.
Like, it's in print.
Yeah. Well, they asked him about, like, the thing with Sabo. He's like, well, she came back to work.
I mean,
and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. It's done. That's all I'm giving you. And as you document, you're like, well, yeah. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Or he was just like, I didn't sexually assault her, but if I did the statute of limitations were already up. It's just like, wait, what?
What are you talking about, Vince?
It's like, I guess if you give a guy enough rope, right?
Yeah.
he hung himself to dry.
Yeah, I was like, you hung yourself, Vince.
But again, it doesn't matter. Because he's right. It's like, you're such a dick, but you're right.
He's settled with her, I believe.
I think, he ended up settling.
He settled with her.
As well as like the ring boy in the 80s with like Pat Patterson was being alleged.
Yeah, and
which it's not fair. He's dead. He can't defend himself.
He can't. They said all they could with that.
So yeah, they kind of. I think they had like Bruce Pritchard saying it never happened, or Tony Atlas saying like no, it never happened. Someone.
No, Tony said it happened. Tony said it
happened. I think Bruce and maybe a few other people said they didn't see it or it didn't happen. So
I think
it's not fair to go after Pat because he can't defend himself. But
yeah, but I think Bruce said Pat was the only one that was innocent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. That's hard, right?
It's very hard.
You got to think what it's like to be gay in the pro wrestling scene in the late 70s, early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right?
It's probably super hard.
Where it's like a lot of people in the business knew and didn't have a problem with it, but like you can't.
He wasn't.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard. So
yeah, it's crazy. I'm also very surprised I got Costas back because Costas was
but I thought he was fair too because
he was fair. He's
pissed at Vince for that original interview where he snapped at him.
Well, according to Vince, Costas kind of ambushed him.
That's his job. He's a journalist.
Yeah.
Like, he's a legitimate journalist, and he was part of WrestleMania, which he loved. I loved how he shat all over the XFL.
Yeah. I mean, in Costas' defense, what's going on, Tommy T Dog? I think you're new to the show, but thank you for joining. He was like, it was just a bad product, and I mean, there's a whole documentary about how the XFL failed the first time around because that's what happens.
Did they do a 30 for 30 on the XFL?
It was a 30 for 30 XFL.
Oh, that was what it was?
Yeah, because at the end it was Vince and Dick Ebersol like in a having dinner together, talking about how good the XFL was, which the NFL stole a lot of the XFL stuff. And at the end of that documentary, when I saw it the first time, I was just like, God damn it, Vince is gonna do this again, isn't he? And then like 2 months later, we're bringing back the XFL.
We're bringing back the XFL.
I knew it as soon as him and Dick Ebersol sat down. A lot of the reasons the XFL failed is because they went up in primetime on Saturday against Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Back then too.
Yeah.
SNL was still huge.
Yeah.
And there was a thing of like Vince resigned the first time. They ask everyone, "Will Vince be back?" And they all like, "No, not a chance, no." And someone was like, turning out, this is like, never say never. And then 2 months later, he was back.
Vince is back.
Vince is back.
Thank you for joining us, Tommy D. We are just ripping right now. We are about to start in a little bit. Thanks for subbing. We got some fun stuff to talk about. Seeing this is our last show of the year, so we're going to get into that. We should probably get the show going right now, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we did a whole half hour on the Vince doc, but that was fun. I do love talking about the Vince doc.
Yeah, let's get the show on the road for one final time for this year. Let's do it.
All right,
countdown, sir.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Midnight music.
Coming up this week on Kings of the Rings podcast, we're going to do this one more time for 2024. It's our end of the year in review show, and we're going to talk about everything that happened this year in pro wrestling. But before we get to that, Saturday night's main events occurred. A Storm came back to AEW. A Blanchard came back to TNA in the worst way possible. And oh yeah, there's a new title tournament for the women going on in WWE, among other things. It's going to wrap up all of the final episode this year for Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 397, exclusively on Wrestle Addict Radio, and it starts right now.
Midnight music.
Oh, yeah. Just letting it run for a little bit, aren't you? I love it. Oh, man. It's the last show of the year. How do we feel about this?
It's been a great year, man. 2024 has been an excellent year all around, and I'm glad we got to finish it off strong, man. Wrestling's been good this year.
Yeah, let's hope to finish it off strong. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kings of Rings podcast, episode number 397, our 2024 year in review show. I'm your host, King Ricky Rose. Thank you guys for joining us for one final time for the year of 2024. If you like what you're listening to or what you're watching to currently right now, as we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the moment, please like, share, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. The links to all of our socials are in the description below. Joining me for the final time in 2024, a man who runs on Tiffy time, Will Tarashak. How are you?
It's Tara time. Get it? Because my last name's Tarashak.
Nah, Tiffy time's a lot better.
Yeah, Tiffy time works.
Yeah.
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, it's like, it's that part of the year we have to reflect on last year or this year and looking forward to next year. So next year, episode 400 coming right around the corner. Also, 10 years of podcasting coming up in February.
Mm-hmm.
And then SummerSlam. I can't wait to see you guys for SummerSlam again. So we might also do Slammiversary. Yes, TNA.
Pre-sale went on sale today.
I've been on a TNA show, so I will pay $12 to go watch a TNA show. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be a great time. Kay Murphy, we can sit front row.
At TNA?
Oh yeah. I think those tickets are more than $40. Please, I'm just being real now.
Well, I can check right now because pre-sale went on sale today, I believe.
Look it up.
Keep ripping.
Let's see. Well, those tickets are on a budget. I'm down.
Fair.
I can't believe it's the end of the year already. I am very glad my part-time stint has ended and I'm back to being here every week. Thank goodness.
Oh, that's official? Official as a whistle?
What?
That you're back, like, legit every week, though?
I've been here pretty consistently for a while.
Listen. I'm just making sure.
Obviously, like, shit hits the fan at the hotline. Shit hits the fan at the hotline, and I will not attend. But I've been here a lot more consistently than I was.
That is very true.
Pre-Mania.
That is.
And you're
very
right.
True.
I do miss Walmart.
Yes, based on our conversation last night. All right, so I will tell you this: pre-sale for Summerversary actually goes on sale because I got the UBS Arena marketing. That goes on sale Thursday at 10. So.
Oh, I gotta go all the way to UBS to go watch TNA.
It's no big deal to me. I just take a train right there.
It's so close to me.
Man.
$5.
Is it a Saturday or a Sunday?
It's a Saturday, I believe, July 20th.
That makes it easier.
Yeah, I think it's like $12 for me to go from Deer Park to UBS. So I love it.
I gotta pay that toll to go through New York, and a toll to go back.
You sure don't want to ride the trains to UBS?
Dude, there's no easy way to get there from here for public transport.
You got to make it to Long Island Railroad.
Yeah, you could if you came from the city. I take Long Island Railroad from Woodside straight to UBS.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you can take the train straight there.
Yeah, and it's only like so you can either it's like a 10-minute walk from the train station to UBS, or you can just hop on one of the shuttles. And it drives you right
there's
there.
a shuttle there. Yeah. Okay. I'll look into it more. So yeah, we'll get back to us on pricing, but yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. So we're going to talk a little bit more about TNA a little bit later on. And 400 is not going to be Money for the Marks, Reds, because Money for the Marks is our Money in the Bank show. So we cannot do 400 for Money for the Marks because that's a ways away. I do think we may run into a little bit of a clash. It may be 400 or 401 where we do Rumble of Royalties. So we got to plan it out at some point.
Yeah, I'm also like,
ideas.
see, next week is Christmas Eve. Next year after that is New Year's Eve, and the 7th, I'm not here.
I wanted to take off that first full week anyway, so all of us can dig deep into, because we're gonna talk about a little bit later. The first Raw of the Netflix era, and and New Year's Evil is that next night.
So
on NXT.
So we'll be back the 14th.
That's what I'm thinking. We're going to take like a month, essentially.
So
wow,
14th will be $298.
Look at us.
14th will be $298. 21st will be $299. 28th, I'm also not here. I'm in Miami.
That is the
That's your birthday?
No, his birthday's February 16th.
I'm in Miami for work.
Okay, so that's the Royal Rumble preview show, which is what 400 would be.
Yeah, so 400 to be the February 4th.
We're going to figure this out at some point. We're gonna
Although
have to figure this out.
honestly, I could bring my laptop and I won't have actually, I could bring a different mic and I could do it from the hotel room.
So you could do that because I can put all the music in post, and we can
theoretically I could do it.
We got to figure it out. We have time.
The 28th
of January. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll be done with work by then. It's just a matter of what we're doing. There's an after party, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, because February 1st is the Rumble, so yeah, we're gonna have to figure this out at some point. But we will get there, and we'll cross the bridge when we approach it. That's why we're gonna take some time off to figure out how we're going to do this and how we're going to maneuver this whole shindig. But first and foremost, let's get to the bigger news. And while we're going to be away for this time, we do need you guys to help vote for us, as we have been selected as a finalist for Best Wrestling Podcast by the Sports Podcast Award. This is the second year in a row that we have been nominated in this category by the Sports Podcast Awards, and we are very thankful that we have been nominated yet again. But we do need your help in voting for us. Voting will be ongoing throughout the holiday season. It ends around the time we are supposed to slated to return. So make sure that you're following all of us, as we are going to post that up everywhere that you need to vote for us. Vote. The links to voting for us are in the description below of this episode. And it is in the links in all of our social media, wherever you find us across all social media. So please vote for us, so we can be Fightful. That's all, because I'm petty against Fightful. Let's leave it at that. I'm very petty against Fightful.
Yeah, fuck you, Fightful. Is that Sean Rush Sapp? Who does Fightful?
It's Sapp.
It is Sep. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
it's-
such a baby. Come on, Sep is a crybaby, dude.
He is. I have firsthand experience with its crybaby ways. Denise is cool. I've heard Denise Salcido is really cool.
Denise Salcido? Nothing
yeah.
against Denise. I bet she's great.
Yeah, she's great. She does good interview questions during
I
the
like
WWE
her.
press conferences. Yeah, she's very. She reminds me of Kayla Braxton a little bit, like voice wise.
Okay.
Things like that. Kayla Braxton's doing like she's doing like a horror podcast now because she's a horror person.
Dude, she's just chilling. She
She's
makes so
chilling,
much
yeah.
money from WWE. She's just vibing. It's
Yeah.
like Samantha Irvin. She's also just vibing. Charlie
Yeah.
Crusoe is just straight psycho, but she's also vibing.
Charlie Caruso totally went off the deep end after ESPN.
She was just like, I'm just gonna go to Fox and just sell my soul.
Go psycho. Yeah, she
Sold.
definitely pulled like a Gina Carano, essentially with that. But yes, please vote for us in the Sports Podcast Awards. We're gonna be posting that up everywhere that you can find us. But moving on to this past weekend in pro wrestling was Saturday night's main event on Long Island, which the announcers all said on Long Island. There was not one in Long Island. It was always on Long Island.
Yeah, they were all. Yeah,
Honestly,
I
I
noticed
was
that too.
impressed.
I noticed
Yeah.
that too.
They were educated.
Yes, they very much so were. My wrestling fandom in Long Island was really upset that I was not there. I know Kay was not there as well, but I'm okay that we were not there because it's the show you thought it was. It was a show on national broadcast TV. Nothing really crazy happened, and they cut that real quick at 10 o'clock.
It was a show they were contractually obligated to do.
And they did it.
And they did it.
and they did it. I will say, in review of Saturday night's main event, it was a solid show. I liked how they made it look. I did like the closeness of the walkway and the security guards walking behind them.
Yeah, just in case.
In case. It was a cool little look. Someone needs to tell Jesse the Body Ventura to stop dressing like that.
Yeah, I like who was like, his name is Damien.
I
like,
thought that was funny.
Pat
I thought that
McAfee
was really
just
funny.
didn't get it. Pat McAfee had no idea.
As soon as he said it, I was like, this is hysterical. I was like,
I laughed.
I was like, good one, Jesse. You still got
Dude,
it.
I was like, Jesse, are you a face or are you a heel? Like, what are you doing here?
My favorite thing
He's
about Jesse
there.
during the main event, I feel like he was legitimately wowed by the moves he saw. Like he hasn't seen anything outside of a superplex in years, and he was blown away.
And he kept calling him Kevin Owen.
He finally got his groove at the end, but it was pretty
I'm glad he
entertaining.
wasn't out there all night because that would have been a disaster.
No,
Yeah.
I think him and Joe Tessitore in the Okerlund position was perfect.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was really good.
Joe Tessitore played off him really well. I am a fan of him.
Joe Tessitore's
He's doing-
fantastic.
I like him a lot.
He's doing a very, very good job. Especially because the people who are preceding him from the same sports world did not do so well.
Adnan Virk.
So yes, I think he fits in. He reminds me of Mauro Ranallo, just without the craziness.
Yeah. He's good.
But his cadence and how he talks and how he broadcasts. And I think him and Wade are also getting in their groove as well.
Yeah, wait till you haven't listened to him when he does college football.
No.
So his schedule is like Saturday he does college football for ESPN, wherever they bring him, because he's done a lot of the big games. And then he has to Monday he's wherever WWE is.
Yeah, and WWE flies him out.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing one of the college football bowl games or playoff games in the next couple months, and then by Monday he's back.
Totally.
During Raw or whatever.
Yeah.
And Tessitore's amazing. The highlight of the show for me was the adoption of Chelsea Green to Long Island.
Oh yeah, she's Long Island by marriage.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, she is. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, she hit the Rough Rider and the place popped.
That
oh, here we
It's
go.
crazy.
I watched it twice because she jumped extra high for that Rough Rider.
Yeah,
And it was a really good finish. I love how she came out with herself on her tights. That was a Easter egg for Rick Rude with Jake the Snake on his tights. That was at Saturday Night's main event. So it was a nice Easter egg. I thought that was very classy. And it was really funny.
Yeah.
She has had pictures of herself all over herself.
the unprettier from the top, like she reversed it, was great. She had the pop of the night. It was great.
She was great.
Yeah.
It was great for a second. for a second, I thought we were going to get Piper Niven turning on Chelsea. When she lifted her up in the air, I was like, wait a minute.
I did too.
And she kept looking at her. I was like, oh no. Like, we're going to ruin this moment?
And then the pyro went off. I was like, okay, good. That would have been a mistake. Piper can do that
later,
literally on SmackDown
Any
on Friday.
other time.
Yeah. Do a celebration, a coronation, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and then she can do that. Yeah, she can do that afterwards.
I want to buy the Chelsea shirt. Has anybody seen the new Chelsea green shirt?
Oh, let me take a gander. I haven't seen it.
All right, so Will, it's the Statue of Liberty.
Amazing.
And then it's Chelsea, like it's her name 4 times.
That's funny. Okay, drop a link in the in our Discord.
It came out immediately.
Oh my god.
It's so good. It's so
okay,
good.
That
Matt
is.
Cardona called himself half the WWE Women's US Champion.
I will say.
Listen, Cardona.
Y'all know I'm not patriotic.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cute.
It's great. I mean, listen, Cardona did his job. He literally took Chelsea Green from Saturday Night's Main Event to Disneyland to celebrate her championship.
Amazing.
I'm like, props, dude. You win.
It's in the WWE chat for whoever wants to see.
Yeah.
Copy. Yeah, good for her. She deserves it too.
Absolutely.
Oh, that is a nice shirt. That's funny. Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
I also liked how they deliberately said like Chelsea Green's first like championship match or first match ever was against Mia Yim. And this is the anniversary of her like first match ever.
Oh.
And things like that. So it was a good story. I like how Mia Yim came out in her Letterman from college. Because that's a jacket she wore.
That is cool.
I did not know this, but she went to Virginia Union and was a volleyball player. Virginia Union being an HBCU, historically black college and university. The same university that got the likes of Charles Oakley in the NBA and Ben Wallace in the NBA. Same school.
Oh, wow.
So very, very interesting that Mia Yim did what she was supposed to do. It was good. And then we get to, obviously, Chelsea is calling herself the longest reigning U.S. Women's Champion because she is. Gunther and Triple Threats just work. Io and Liv was really fun.
I really liked it.
You just broke her nose. Yeah, that was pretty solid.
That's a hell of a shot. I've seen it so many times in slow mo. My friend, actually Charles's girlfriend, apparently does not like Liv, but she's like, she can take a hit though.
Yeah.
She can take a hit. And then we got to the main event, Cody, which is an interesting thing. I have a feeling in 2025, we are going to get indie heel Cody Rhodes.
Thank God. Thank goodness. I'm like low key bored of Captain America Cody. I need something else.
Yeah, Cody's stale.
I think Cody's doing what he needs to do right now, but I think, by him semi-cheating to win is a good little turn on things. And here's the thing. I don't want to see the Winged Eagle ever again. I get it.
Really?
I get it.
That was cool.
I was like, it's not necessary. I also saw it.
I think you could do that for things like this, where bringing out for like a special thing.
But I see it from like a business perspective. So like your brand is not the Winged Eagle anymore. Your brand is that giant WWE belt stuff. And this is the first time you've done a prime time like network TV special in how long? So I see it as like push the. Yeah, I see it as push the brand. Like,
well, maybe the WWE shop has an overstock of the Winged Eagle replica belts that they need.
No,
to push,
they don't. They made Cody sign a bunch of them and sell them the same day.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
There you go. That's pushing. That's one way to push the brand.
Yeah.
Let's check their stock price. TKO.
So that's what it is. But I think this is a hint at Cody turning heel at some point in the new year. I don't know what it's going to take. I also found it very interesting that Cody did a modified version of an RKO, and then Kevin Owens also took out Cody, which great use of found footage yet again, because all that footage they got was from like after the show went off air.
No, on YouTube they got the actual cameras getting it.
Yeah, and then the package pile driver, and then Triple H's coming out and almost looked like he was going to fight Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, this is going to lead to something. I don't know.
I mean, he can't wrestle though. Triple H, he has his heart.
No, he can't.
Yeah.
That's all he can do. He can just shove people. He can shove people from time to time. That's all Triple H can do. But it was a solid show. This will probably lead to something down the road. Who knows? The next one's in San Antonio next year, so we'll see what happens with that. But that was Saturday night's main event. Solid show.
Also, Drew McIntyre murdered Sami Zayn.
That too.
Oh yeah,
It's a good way to kick off a show.
Yeah, definitely. The crowd was hot for that too. Crowd
Yeah.
was ready. Crowd was pretty solid all the way over, all around.
Oh, Long Island's always ready.
It's a Long Island crowd.
Yeah.
Of course they were.
Yeah, we like our rest. We like our scraps. Very much so like our scraps. But moving on, now that the women's U.S. title's done, we can now focus on the women's Intercontinental Championship title. Was 3 of the 4 opening round matches have already been resolved. Dakota Kai won last week. Lyra Valkyria won last week. This week, in a very big surprise to me, and I think all of us, Zoe Stark beat Raquel and Kaden Carter to advance. And so the next one up is Alba Fyre, Kairi Sane, who may not even be able to compete after she got, like, kayfabe injured on Raw, and Natty. So I don't know when they're going to do this. This leads to probably crowning the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion on the first Raw on Netflix, which I think is what's going to happen. But does Natty make it out of this? Does Natty become the Final Four? Like, we did talk last week about how you need potentially an established star at least one of these mid-card titles.
Yeah.
So does Nat, like, they clearly did not go that route for the women's U.S. title. Do they do that in this one? Like, does Natty make it out of this?
It depends who replaces Kairi Sane. Because if you hear the woo and forget about it.
Yeah.
If
it's Charlotte, it's over.
I think Charlotte gets saved for Raw Netflix.
Yeah, or Royal Rumble.
Ooh.
No, because I think Becky's coming back for Royal Rumble.
Well, Becky's in Star Trek now, so.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear about this?
No.
Becky landed a role in a Star Trek show.
Becky's
Yo,
also
that's
just
fucking
vibing.
sick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Becky's like, I'm going to come out of
I'm
a
glad I
book.
was Becky
I'm
for
gonna
Halloween.
steal a show at WrestleMania for the first match of the show. I'm going to stay for a month longer to make sure that everybody's good. And now I'm going to leave, raise my child, and get on Star Trek.
Wow, I love her.
Yeah. So yeah, Becky's not coming back anytime soon, but I know she landed a role in the Star Trek series. I just forgot which one it was. But it's an interesting card. So Alba Fyre could get out of this. Who replaces Kairi Sane? We don't know. Natty could be someone from NXT that get the call up. There's a lot of weird shit happening. But this is what we have for the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. Zoe, Dakota, Lyra, and whoever wins Alba, Kairi Sane, who replaces Kairi Sane, and Natty going up for this. I don't know. I want Dakota Kai, but I feel like it will probably be either Natty or Alba or Lyra Valkyria. Someone on the right side of this bracket.
I mean, I thought Bailey was going to take it last time, so I wasn't even close.
No, you were not.
So don't take my words seriously when I say I think Zoe Stark takes it.
Interesting.
It's possible. I like it because you have to make them look formidable.
I remember she was palling around with Trish Stratus last year.
Yes, and she had a great run from Trish for a while, and
she had a pretty good run. She was always involved, always doing something. You know, she's constantly been on TV doing something.
Yeah,
and that kind of goes a long way in WWE. Like, look at Chelsea Green. A big reason she got that belt is because she maximized her minutes after getting literally nothing to work with, after being eliminated from Royal Rumble in 3 seconds, literally. So she maximized her minutes. Does Zoe Stark maximize her minutes? I'm not sure, but she keeps getting the minutes.
Yeah.
So, and you could say the same thing for Dakota
right.
Kai, but she has a history of being injured. Zoe Stark is very durable.
Except for when she blew out her knee in NXT, but that was in NXT.
Yeah.
So.
True. So I could see Zoe Stark going over Natalya.
I like Zoe, especially because Chelsea is essentially a fun heel that everybody likes, and Zoe's
she's actually going to turn face. You kind of like have a mean, rough and tumble, a gritty heel on the other side.
And I think Zoe Stark and PFC because she's running with Shayna and Daddy DeVille.
Oh yeah, what's her name? Yeah, Daddy DeVille. So I think she fits the part. She fits the mold to play in that opposite. I'm actually glad Raquel didn't get this because I didn't want to see this belt be a prop in the main event. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, that was a good point. So we'll see what happens with this Women's Intercontinental Championship. But moving on to one of the most talked about things that occurred over the weekend that was not Saturday night's main event, which apparently pulled about 2.2 million viewers in primetime on Saturday, which is actually freaking
actually
excellent.
really good.
That's wild.
really good.
Excellent. Okay.
That's good marketing right there.
Yeah, that's absolutely excellent. So also, real quick, Kay, Becky's joining Starfleet Academy for Star Trek.
Ooh, very cool, very cool.
Yes. So let's break this down. TNA had Final Destination over the weekend. And Jordan Grace was in a match putting her TNA Knockouts title on the line. Somebody in all black and a really like zipped up hoodie. She looked like Hoodie Mello, but like more of a zipped up hoodie. By the way, Carmelo was at the basketball game I was at over the weekend. Yeah. His son plays in my high school.
Cool.
Yeah. And so they attacked Jordan Grace, and the person took off the hoodie, and it was revealed to be a returning Tessa Blanchard. Now,
Wow, she was okay wearing black? That's shocking.
Nice.
Too soon? Too soon?
No, not soon enough.
I fucking can't with that bitch.
Nice. Not soon enough. Okay. So the last time we ever talked about Tessa Blanchard was right after she had what should have been one of the most talked about things that year in wrestling and in the history of pro wrestling forever and ever.
Oh, didn't she win the world title?
She won the TNA world title. Mm-hmm. Not the Knockouts Championship, the TNA world title, historically the men's title. And I believe she's the first one in a company of that size and stature to win a title that is predominantly just for the males. And it should have been this big moment until she ran her mouth on Twitter and got called out by the rest of the wrestling community, Chelsea Green being one of them, by the way, about how she is a locker room cancer, spit in the face of wrestlers of color, saying the N-word to them, and a whole bunch of other things came out about her behavior towards other wrestlers. This isn't the first time this has happened to Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard was rumored to probably going to go on to be signed by WWE's Moose is a problem as well. Going to go on to be signed by WWE after the first Mae Young Classic until she flipped in the PC allegedly towards the golden goose of WWE at the time. His name was Ricochet, her ex-boyfriend. You know.
Oh, I forgot they went out.
I think Ricochet wants to forget too.
Yeah, Ricochet has quite a roster.
Honestly, hats off to him. To be completely honest.
Yeah, good for you, bro.
Hats off to him. And so Tessa Blanchard has a notable history of not being the greatest person to work with, especially if you're a person of color. Top Dollar did main event, didn't he? Top Dollar did main event Final Destination. That's great. Good for him. Shout out to Top Dollar. Listen,
okay.
I like the guy. I like the guy. Good for him. I don't care. So ever since Tessa Blanchard was released from TNA for pretty much all the right reasons, she had laid low for a while. I think she was engaged. She was not engaged anymore. She started dating someone else. She did a lot of work in Mexico. That's where she's been for a very, very long time, doing a lot of pro wrestling work in Mexico. I think she was away from wrestling for a while. She did a lot of work in Mexico. She hasn't done anything public in terms of like a public interview. Like, you remember when Patrick Clark, Velveteen Dream, went on Chris Van Vliet and he kind of shared his story and stuff?
What a disaster.
You know, I'm still really upset about what happened to Patrick.
And he got a DUI. Oh, that video was wild.
You know, so she hasn't done anything public, and she just kind of just showed up. Rumor has it that a lot of people weren't happy. I know the IWC wasn't happy, and we get that. It's also rumored that Jordan Grace was like, I don't want to work with her either.
Understandably so.
You know, so Tess is back for better or worse. I don't know where this is gonna go. Could this mean that Jordan Grace is probably on her way out anyways? Probably. You know, she's WWE bound by sometime this next year. But initially, kayfabe, what are your thoughts on the polarizing return of Tessa Blanchard?
I can acknowledge that like some people deserve a second chance. I don't think she's one of those people. like she like by and large is someone that like women do not want to work with. They do not feel comfortable working with her, and I don't feel that she has done. I don't know what she. I mean, I don't know. I don't know her. I don't know what she's done to kind of, apologize for her behavior or her actions. Like, did she take classes? Like, did she speak to people of color about why her behavior was harmful? Like, did she do anything? But I feel like people think that she could be like lucrative to the business, and I think it's gonna fuck up TNA because I don't watch TNA, but it seems like they had a really big year this year, and I think they fucked it up.
They did. Yeah.
Listen, when you get Dolph Ziggler back in one of your shows, and now he's your world champion, TNA's gonna do numbers. Like when Dolph Ziggler showed up at TNA, I was like, you know what? I'll watch. You got me. You got me. TNA.
I am like actively interested in the product. I just don't have the ability to watch.
I have someone's TNA Plus account, which that helps me out.
That makes sense.
A lot. But Will, what are your thoughts on the return of Tessa?
I don't know. Because time does heal all wounds.
That's a lot.
And when I think Nate posted in our Discord that she was back, and I was like, what did she even do? Like I didn't remember. Right? I completely forgot she was world champ. I completely forgot what her scandal was.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to me that this was mainly a backstage issue. So backstage problems kind of require backstage solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I'm hearing and gathering, it seems like that those issues are still very real.
Yeah.
So so to me, from a business perspective, I think it's a mistake to bring her back, because last thing you need with a company that's growing and rebuilding itself is backstage drama. Like imagine if CM Punk went back to AEW without talking to Jack Perry first, right? Like,
Yeah.
like you just like this could just bring drama you don't need. Even if it's good on-screen product, it's not worth the backstage drama if those issues that caused drama in the first place haven't been resolved. Now, what I think as a fan, this has nothing to do with me as a fan, right? Like she didn't offend. I guess you can say she offended the fans, but. Like, I don't know. I think it's really just a backstage issue that needs to be resolved backstage. And from what we know right now, it seems like those issues weren't resolved. And that is first and foremost the biggest problem.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with her coming back, but you got to solve the issue first.
Yeah.
And it seems like this wasn't solved. Now, I don't know. We weren't there. We aren't there. So, but it's from what we're hearing from the rumblings, people are not clued in and we're shocked she's coming back. And that's not good for anybody, period.
I also feel like this could low-key hurt WWE's relationship with TNA. WWE very much cares about their image. And if TNA wants to like do mad work for Tessa Blanchard, it could reflect poorly in WWE in the long run.
Oh, come on, Kate. Triple H doesn't see color.
That's true. It's also very true. You can tell by how he booked this year, because there's only been one person of color that ever had a singles match on a premium live event or a special. And that person was Mia Yim on Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah.
And she's two colors. She's black and Asian.
Yes. She's two minorities. So my thing is, like, time doesn't heal all wounds, essentially, but it does make you forget stuff, which you proved my point. You're like, oh, what did she do again? Which I think that might have been what the TNA brass was kind of hoping would happen.
Whereas I'm the opposite. I very much remember that she was racist and horrible.
I remember too.
The internet don't forget.
Yeah. Number one, the internet doesn't forget. And it would have been a backstage issue if it stayed backstage. The problem was other people backstage who had worked with her made it public to everybody else.
And I think that's a mistake as well. I mean, I get it because you want to bring attention to it, and listen, if the issue isn't getting resolved backstage, you bring it to the forefront and make sure it gets resolved now in front of the stage.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's a tactic to force management's hand. It's about checks and balances.
Yeah.
If the backstage politics and behind closed doors isn't working, you bring it public. So. It sounds like TNA still has that backstage problem where they gotta kind of management needs to step in and kind of take control of this kind of a situation.
Yeah. So Mr. Fretz in our chat is reporting that she's technically not signed with TNA apparently, and if that is the case,
then that's even worse.
It's potentially worse. You don't give her a big spot. But also from another perspective, if they were doing this to just gauge where they wanted to sign her or maybe use her as like on a basis, and they're getting a negative reaction. Like this could be a way just to feel like, what if we did this?
Yeah, testing the waters.
Yeah. But then if you do a what if we do this, don't do it on one of your special shows.
Yeah, that too.
No.
You know.
Or like, I guess if they had house shows, that'd be a good place to do it. But they don't have house shows.
Yeah. Tessa Blanchard would be perfect for Wrestler's Court. If that still existed.
Or how about take a TV tape? And they do TV tapings, right? Bring her
they
to a
do.
TV
They do it
taping.
a lot.
If it doesn't work, it's cut her out.
Yeah.
It's
also one of those things where like there's a time, not really a time and place, but like we've heard everybody who's opposed to Tessa Blanchard, and it's a lot of people who are vocal about it. But I'm curious as to what she has to say. She's been extremely silent all these years about all of these things that have been said against her. And not once has she ever come out and said something to defend herself. I don't know if she's hoping like, if I don't talk about it, it'll go away. You know, but at this point, it's never going to leave you unless you say something and address it.
I mean, yeah, if she stayed away, it would never would have come up again.
Correct.
But
Exactly.
now that you're here,
you got to say
don't be
something.
surprised. Yeah, don't be surprised when people come after you either.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're going to have to say something. And don't get me wrong, as a talent, Tessa Blanchard's absolutely freaking amazing. Like, I'm like from her work in the Mae Young's Classic to all she did in TNA when she won the world title. She's perfect. She's great. She could have been a 4 horsewoman. She could have been the 5th member of the 4 horsewomen if she really wanted to. But this screwed her career.
Yeah,
it screwed her trajectory.
Yeah.
And at this point, she has no one to blame but herself.
Yes.
Yeah, she has no one to blame but herself. And so this is going to be a developing story in the next year. Wherever she shows up, still in TNA, wherever someone else picks her up, she is such an AEW prospect. I hate to say it.
I was just thinking that. I was already like, she's going to be an AEW by
Tony's
August.
going to throw that money so far.
Tony's like, you didn't say anything about Middle Easterns. Go. Here's the money.
Yeah, Tony's
Why do I
gonna
feel like
throw.
Tessa's coming for Mercedes?
Oh God!
Oh Jesus!
Mercedes might break her nose like she did Bliss's.
Dude, that's just something I don't want to see. You know why? Because I like Mercedes, but she also has an ego, and that it was just I don't think those two would play well together.
That's it's not more about the egos. I just don't think they would play well together in the ring, like in terms of a shoot fight.
Like it would be very hard for Mercedes to be professional in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, look at Seth and Punk. Seth generally doesn't like CM Punk, but he's going to be a professional.
Yeah.
And you can say the same thing with Drew. Like he's going to be or Kevin Owens, right? They're going to be professional, even though I don't like him. I don't think Mercedes and Tessa will be able to be professional, and that's not a knock on Mercedes. It's actually a knock on both of them for both, and they both I think have valid reasons for it.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't think it's just Mercedes that wouldn't be professional with Tessa Blanchard in the ring.
Yeah, that too.
Like it's one of those things. She's a pariah for the women's locker rooms across a bunch of women's locker rooms. So it's gonna be hard for her, and it's gonna be an uphill battle, but something to look forward to. On a lighter note, Original Tony's back. So about a couple of months ago, Tony Storm went to a magazine, the Regatas magazine, saying that in the timeless Tony gimmick, saying that she's retiring, the wrestling world doesn't need her anymore, and we posted it to the Discord, be like, work or shoot, and we were just like, oh, it's a work. Yes, it was a work. She retired the timeless character, which may or may not be a mistake. And she returned at the end of Dynamite this past week after the Mina Shirakawa Mariah May championship match, which obviously Mariah May won. And that's how we ended the show. So OG Tony with the little mark and everything, Tony with amnesia, returned to Dynamite. To a pretty significant pop for an AEW crowd, let's be honest. To a pretty significant pop to her returning. It's not knocking AEW, it's just that the venue wasn't that big.
Where was it?
There were 900 people there.
There was people on hard cam. I don't know how many people were there.
Wow.
But Tony's back, no longer timeless, regular Tony. Will, is this a good thing?
No. and here's why. I don't think it's a mistake to retire the gimmick. You know, you've been doing it for so long and a character does need to evolve and do something else. The
Mhm.
problem is you're going back to a character that arguably didn't work.
Okay.
So now your fans are being like, but we liked you as the other thing, and I wasn't a huge fan of you as this thing compared to the other thing. It's like we love apple pie, but when you get sick of apple pie and you go to blueberry pie, it's just like, well, I don't really like blueberry pie, but yes, I was. This kind of sick of apple pie doesn't mean I still like blueberry pie.
Okay, I see what you mean.
So
I
mean,
think
if she did something else or something new, or like even a twist into an existing character, yeah. But I think changing the character, right move, going back to a former character, like imagine if Chris Jericho came out as Lionheart again. No.
You'd love it.
I would, but I'm just me. I'm ridiculous. Kay Murphy, what do you think?
I think that we need to let it cook. It's been what, a day?
Yeah,
It's been 6 days.
fair.
Well, a week. It's been one episode of TV since this happened. I think
Well,
there
2 if you count. Well, 3 if you count Rampage and Coalition.
I don't. I think it needs more time to cook. I like Toni Storm in all forms. Obviously, The Timeless is probably her best work. But I'm hoping that there's a better reason overall for why she's going back to this character and like the point.
I think that's what I'm missing too, with the Timeless back to your original Tony, is with a lot of good character changes, it's such a subtle transition that you don't even know it's happening until it happens.
Yeah.
This has been like a shock to the system. I think the best character transition that comes to mind for me as a perfect example of what a good character transition should be is 2019 Survivor Series. Seth Rollins Raw loses Survivor Series against NXT and SmackDown. Raw gets housed. Will and I were there. That next night, Seth Rollins is like, Raw, we screwed up, but I'm here. I'm going to be your savior of Monday Night Raw, which then bleeds into Monday Night Messiah, and then we get that scepter in the pandemic era.
Yeah.
But he says one thing and he slowly transitions to prove that point. Whereas in Tony, she, I'm retired, blah, 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 and now she's back and we're like, what's the explanation for this? We didn't see this coming. She's been away for a while. Fred is saying this could be a memory loss thing, which would be interesting, but I don't remember any time.
I think that's a nice tweak to the character.
I like the tweak, yeah.
I mean, Kay, you're definitely right. Let it cook, see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first impression is, ooh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's one of those things, like, if they pull, like, oh, she lost her memory and everything like that, and that's why this is a character change, that would make a lot of sense to me. That would be really cool. Like, if it's kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde thing in a weird way, or a dual personality thing, I think
that'd be really cool.
That would be really cool, but you can play
That'd be really cool. It's also really hard to do in wrestling, but it'd be really cool.
Like, remember when we had, like, Mayor Kane and, like, regular Kane as the same person?
Oh my God, we had like corporate Kane, and then every now and then he just put on the red mask. Kane.
Yeah.
There was something we had a guest, complete sideberg. But we had a guest on our show today at work, and his last name was Kane, and I almost went, oh, like the wrestler, but I didn't do it. I really wanted to.
Proud of you.
I go out to the desk. I always check names and titles. Like, Thomas last name Kane, Kane, and your title. I always went, oh, like the wrestler, but I didn't do it. I should have done it, but I didn't do it.
It's probably like, I get it all the time.
You probably look at me like, what?
Yeah. So Timeless Tony, not Timeless. Timeless Tony's no more. Regular Tony is back. We'll see how it goes, as long as Juice Robinson's happy, right? So moving on to some of the things that we will probably not cover on our time off. Raw is going to Netflix. WWE Network is retiring in 14 days. No more. This is a new Raw logo. Yay, it looks nice. People need to stop freaking complaining.
Why are people complaining?
I don't know. People find something to complain about. Some people says it looks like rain if you tilt your head sideways. Which it kind of does.
No, it does.
It kind of does. If you tilt like
it does.
a little bit, yeah. but like you got to be looking really
if
hard.
I just angle my eyes the right way. Yeah, no, it does.
It
I like
does.
it though. It's a fine logo.
It's clean
with it.
It's clean.
Yeah. What did you want?
What
it's
did
still
you
red.
expect? Yeah.
Yeah, it's red in big letters. Like what do you mean?
Yeah. You know, they're having a kickoff show on YouTube tomorrow at 2 or something. I don't know. Something for you to watch if you work from home. It's going to be coming from Los Angeles at the new Intuit Dome, which I hear is absolutely fantastic. And we have 2 big matches already announced. Obviously, something that we thought was going to happen on a PLE, they said, nope, we're going to do it for Netflix. CM Punk, Seth Rollins has been made official as of last night. So what we thought might have happened at Mania did not happen. They're pulling the trigger on this for the first Raw of the Netflix era. Kay, what are your thoughts on this? I heard a sigh.
Our household's going to be divided.
Why?
Liv's favorite wrestler is Seth Rollins.
do you need a safe space to watch this episode?
No, we can mutually agree that one of our guys will win and one of our guys will lose, and it will be okay no matter what. Although it will be better if
I wish I was
CM Punk
watching Raw with
wins.
you guys. Kay.
I do too. Oh man, I don't know how I feel about doing this right now.
I think it's too early.
I do too.
It's way too early. I feel like the only way I will be truly satisfied is if you make Punk and Seth go through all the fucking like gimmick matches throughout the year. Put them in the cell later in the year, like
make them do 3 stages of hell from WCW.
Yeah, give me like a bunch of Punk and Seth gimmick matches throughout the year.
Inferno
Put them
match.
in a dog collar match. An Inferno match.
First blood.
An I Quit match.
An I Quit match.
An I Quit match. These guys would just be like, I'm going off script. Fuck all of this. I'm not quitting.
You could do hair versus hair.
Oh yeah.
Dude. Bald Seth with the beard.
Yes.
It'd be like Rusev Vushka. Rusev Machka.
Yes. Yes. My thing with this is that I'm okay with this if we can stop Seth from saying he main evented a WrestleMania, because he did not.
I mean, he was there.
He was there.
He was
but
in
he
the
was
main event.
He was in the main event, but he did not main event. He was a commercial break during the main event. That's what it was.
No, he was
Still
night
more than Punk
one.
got.
Night one, he was in the main event.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. He
Yeah,
did
tag
main
match.
he did tag match. When he comes to like I main event on WrestleMania, which I mean, I guess you did, but you know, I was thinking like, no, you never main evented on WrestleMania. Freaking, you interrupted a great main event between Roman and Brock.
Twice. And then he did it with Roman and Cody.
So like I get it, but it is one of those things where I feel like if they were going to drag this and maybe not make it Mania, I thought this is a great Rumble match.
You know what it is? Because they clearly have other ideas for both of these guys at WrestleMania. It makes me go, well, what is it? Which is a good and a bad thing, because it's good because, okay, it's what's coming next, but it's bad because it's like, well, I don't really care about now because I want to know what's coming next.
I'm like low-key a little nervous. Not even just for the Mania picture in general. I'm like nervous about Mania.
It's a toss-up. The Rock apparently will not be available.
It feels, that's what I'm saying. The Rock won't be there. John Cena, who knows what the fuck's gonna happen, what his last Mania match is gonna be. It's fucking crazy out there.
What I think what's going to happen is, and because when Will was like, I don't know what's going to happen next with them, what's the bigger story? I think Punk Cena at Mania is beautiful.
I'll fucking cry.
That would be pretty cool.
I need it. I need it so bad.
Listen, you can have John work with somebody who's a little bit younger.
But that wasn't my... That's still not my prediction for Cena for Mania, but I'd fucking lose it. I think we're gonna get Punk and Cena next year. I don't think it's at Mania.
Punk Cena Mania is perfect. You're gonna have Cena work with a new guy and bring him up. We know what happened with him and Austin Theory. Let's not do that again, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're gonna have someone that John respects and that Cena also respects. I mean that CM Punk also respects, and they put on banger matches all the time and let them just have a go at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they'll do well, and it doesn't take away from anybody else that you might try to build on that Mania card. I think Cena Punk is fan-fucking-tastic. for Mania in Vegas. Because you know Logan Paul's probably going to be there because he's going to be at Raw on Netflix too, you idiot, saying he's retired. Yeah, and the other thing, and apparently he's fighting Conor McGregor in India.
Oh, God.
That came out today too, by the way.
What?
They're going to box?
They're going to box, yeah.
Dude, that's way better than Jake Paul. Like, that's just like, all right, I'll actually watch that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay money for it if it's on pay-per-view, but I'll watch it.
I thought Conor McGregor just got canceled.
He did, and that's why he's fighting in India.
I see.
Yeah, he's got.
What did he do?
He's
Didn't
convicted
he just
of
lose,
rape.
like a rape case.
I do remember that. Yeah, that did happen.
Fully guilty.
He's convicted.
Fully convicted. Yeah, he's got to pay it close to $300K.
He's not going to jail
as well. I don't know. I don't know if the ruling. I know he's convicted, but I don't know if the punishment's coming in.
Was it a civil case then?
Not sure. I just know he was convicted.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about jail, just that he was guilty.
Oh,
yeah.
Go to Google.
Yeah, he is guilty. But the other big thing on Raw for Netflix, besides Travis Scott being there,
it was civil.
Civil, okay. Besides Travis Scott doing a performance and whatever the hell's going to happen, also don't forget the transfer portal, as we'll call it in WWE, is now open. So everybody's going to be everywhere, which is smart business if you're going to start on a new television network or a new streaming service. We also have Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa in Tribal Combat, and somehow Cody Rhodes is going to win another Tribal Combat match again. Somehow,
Can I just say,
yeah,
I feel that if it was Roman versus Jacob Fatu, it would hit better. But that's just me.
But Jacob's not the story yet, which is that's the
I
issue.
know.
So I think
man, Solo might be my wrestler of the year.
We're gonna rift at the end and just talk about some stuff, but yes, that's a close one. You got to do Solo. This, of any match Solo has had in his career, this is the big one for him. He's got to look solid against Roman. I don't expect him to win.
Nah, he's gonna win.
Yeah, but he's got to look really solid. I don't think Roman's gonna make him look bad either.
This is Roman's first match on Raw in like a few years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
He's been running SmackDown.
Oh yeah, Roman has to win.
Yeah. You don't bring Roman over from SmackDown and have him lose on Raw.
I mean, Roman's still. I know, Roman's still your top guy. I know Cody's champion, but Roman's still number one. Cody's still 1A.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is a Raw. This is going to be a loaded Raw, an absolutely loaded Raw. So
we're going to watch Raw again. I can't wait. I still can't watch SmackDown. I don't have next day streaming rights, but I can watch Raw.
Damn, go to YouTube TV, dude.
Dude, it's too much money.
It's like what, $72?
Yeah, too much money.
I'm still paying for Hulu Live, and it keeps going up, and I'm just
Hulu Live is up to 96 or something.
Mine's not 96, but I think I pay 80 something.
I think my parents wanted the HBO add-on or whatever, the Stars bundle or whatever it was. My parents paid for Hulu cable, but I can only watch Hulu cable on a computer.
Yeah, I have the Hulu Live with Disney ESPN bundle, whatever.
Yeah, which all just bundling into the Disney Plus app.
It's so much. You have a maid over there.
I don't. I just think I do.
Well, your streaming is set.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch Raw live because I don't have a direct link to Netflix on the Fire Stick. So.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm kind of damned there. So we'll see what happens.
And Raw's going to be available for all tiers of Netflix, right?
Yes. Also, what I discovered or what I potentially heard as a rumor is that the WWE deal with Netflix, which includes Raw in the US and then all of their property everywhere, all of their other shows, NXT, or for the rest of the world. All of WWE goes to Netflix for the rest of the world. That deal doesn't start till January 6th. January 3rd is SmackDown.
SmackDown's on USA, though.
In America.
Yeah. Oh.
Wait. Can you repeat what just happened? I'm confused.
So you mean internationally, SmackDown's going to be on Netflix first before Raw?
No, the deal doesn't begin. The deal's not effective.
Until 6. So the international is going to do and miss a SmackDown then.
There's a rumor that it might just be on YouTube.
Oh.
For the international crowd.
So yeah, Fred, you have to let us know.
Yeah,
how you watch SmackDown on January 3rd.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. That other things that we are going to miss also happening during our little bit of a break. NXT, the next night, is also going to be in Los Angeles running New Year's Evil, usually their first show of the year. And Will, I'm going to talk to you directly because you are going to enjoy this. The main event of New Year's Evil for NXT, the Tuesday after Raw on Netflix, is Obafemi Trick Williams for the NXT Championship.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. You also have Roxanne versus Julia for the NXT Women's title as well. And you'll enjoy it too. I just finished watching NXT from last week. Obafemi had a great promo. He goes, the only reason the Whoop That Trick era existed because I allowed it. And I was like,
well,
you got a point.
you got a point.
You got a great
the
point.
The best heels have a point. He's got a point.
You've got a great point. So I'm very excited for that main event. It's also one of the reasons why we're not doing a show because I'm like, I gotta watch this. I gotta see how they do. I forgot where in Los Angeles they're doing it at, but tickets are gonna go on sale relatively soon for that as well. Also, things that we are missing. Wrestle Kingdom 19, the show that we never really cover unless Mr. YLP is on the show, as well as Wrestle Dynasty. So if you guys remember, it was announced really early of this past year that Wrestle Dynasty was going to be a thing. It was going to be the day after Wrestle Kingdom. Historically, Wrestle Kingdom has been either 1 or 2 nights. Now, Wrestle Kingdom, essentially night 2, will be called Wrestle Dynasty. So New Japan is going to put on...
It's a week.
Yeah, right. So New Japan's doing Wrestle Kingdom 19 one night. And then Wrestle Dynasty is going to include superstars from CMLL, Ring of Honor, because yes, it still exists, Stardom, AEW, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. But to be honest with you, a lot of those people also show up on Wrestle Kingdom as well. So we're going to go through. So it's essentially 2 nights of Wrestle Kingdom. One just has a different freaking name, if we're being completely honest with you. And on the Wrestle Kingdom card, at least, your main event is supposed to be Zack Sabre Jr. Remember him, Will, the guy you hate? He's the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
I don't hate him. He's just boring.
Yeah, he's putting his title on the line against Shota Umino, which I do not know. Mr. YLP and the Young Lions Respect the podcast will have a better hold on that. Other marquee matches that I can see here is Naito versus Takahashi. You also have David Finlay's in a match. El Desperado's in a match. Shingo Takagi is going up against Tanosuke Takeshita of AEW fame for the Never Openweight Championship. Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling and also the president of New Japan, is facing Evil in a lumberjack match. Well, have we ever seen a lumberjack match in New Japan?
I can't name one.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how that goes as well. The IWGP Women's Championship is also on the line during Wrestle Kingdom as well. On Wrestle Dynasty, which is still a developing card, which I think right now is probably the more interesting card of all of them. In Wrestle Dynasty, you have the Lucha Gauntlet match, which is going to be pretty much anybody from like CMLL in a gauntlet match and some other luchadors from around, which no one's been announced. There's also what's going to be called an International Women's Cup Final, which is this random tournament of all these women. Willow Nightingale's in it from AEW. Athena is also in as well, formerly known as Ember Moon.
Ember Moon. Yep.
Some woman named Persephone, who I do not know, and there's a mystery opponent, or the last person is in this Fatal 4-Way that's going to be on the card. The Young Bucks are showing up for Wrestle Dynasty. They are going to go up against the Great Okan and a mystery opponent. You have the New Japan NJPW Strong Women's Championship and the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's title match. So title for title, which is Mercedes versus Mina Shirakawa. That just got announced over the weekend. Brody King's in a non-title match against Finlay. Jack Perry's in a match.
Yeah.
You have Ricochet versus Zack Sabre Jr., which could be great or could be the most boring thing in the world. As well, you have Claudio's in a match as well. And the return of Kenny Omega at Wrestle Dynasty. So that is your Wrestle Dynasty card. We are going to miss all of that, especially because it happens really, really early in the freaking morning. Okay, remember when you used to stay up for that?
I don't do that anymore. I used to stay up and watch it.
Yeah.
And then the years I worked like overnight or weird hours, I would try to watch it during work. And now I don't at all. Because I'm in my 30s now and I need sleep.
Yeah, you do. So I mean, it's an interesting card. We'll see how it goes. I will watch it at some point. Especially to see what they do with the difference between Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. I'm assuming it's probably nothing. It's just gonna be a change in name, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how this experiment works for them. Another thing we're also missing that no one's even gonna remember is Ring of Honor's doing Final Battle at the Hammerstein Ballroom at the Manhattan Center. You know, the thing that they used to do when people watched them. That's happening this weekend, Friday, December 20th. The headliner is the Ring of Honor champion, Chris Jericho. Yes, Chris Jericho versus Matt Cardona for the Ring of Honor world title.
Wow.
Yes. I can tell you.
How exhilarating.
AEW is also going to be around. Collision and Dynamite are also going to be filming over the weekend at the Manhattan Center as well.
The Hardy Boys are going to be in Queens on the 20th.
Why are they
as well.
spelling final like that?
I don't know. I didn't come up with the graphic.
It looks very confusing.
There's an A there.
Are you sure?
I'm
It looks more like
positive.
an arrow.
It looks like an arrow, but it's an A.
It's
an
Finn
A.
pointing L. Like
No, there's an A. I can guarantee.
fiddle. It's the fiddle battle. It's
Yes.
like Willie from Simpsons saying it. It's fiddle battle.
Ring of Honor, where you can only watch it not on TV but on WatchROH.com, which I didn't even know was still a thing. But apparently, it's
Not even YouTube. WatchROH.com.
Yeah. Yes. Jericho.
You can watch it using Internet Explorer.
Yeah, you can. So that's something that we'll totally forget that actually occurred because no one
Yep.
remembers Ring of Honor. Apparently, Athena's still the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and haven't heard a thing from her. At
If
all.
Chris Jericho comes like this, I'll watch it.
Yeah, no, he's not coming out like that.
I love that.
He's not
song.
coming out like that at all. Also, another thing we're missing is the last AEW pay-per-view and the final pay-per-view of the year called World's End, which has finally got some matches. You have MJF versus Adam Cole has finally been announced. It is potentially
Nice.
a fatal four-way for the AEW World Championship. John Moxley, John Moxley, Hangman Adam Page, Jay White, and Orange Cassidy in a fatal four-way is pretty much about to be official. For that, you also have the conclusion of the Continental Classic. You know that tournament that AEW runs that no one really remembers because
The Intercontinental?
yes, because it's the belt that got merged with 3 other titles and never gets defended except one time a year. You know, Eddie Kingston won the first one, and then Okada took it from Eddie Kingston, and Okada has yet to defend it. All he does is get an AEW say bitch.
Sounds all right. Well, what's wrong? What's wrong with that? He's being a bitch.
You know, and so this is essentially the American version of the G1, where it's there's two groups, and it's group play for a while, and then the two people out of group play will then face off at Continental Classic from both group. 2 people from both. So it's the final 4 and the finals will be at the Continental Classic. Obviously, it's 3 points for a win, 0 points for a loss, 1 point for a tie. So if they or if they go over a time limit, and there's no winner. So that's the Continental Classic rules. It's actually pretty good because it does feature some matches that you would want to see on AEW, but it's just not marketed well enough for me.
I know, dude. World's End is a fitting name, though, because we're getting there.
We're getting to the end of the world.
We are getting there.
Literally.
We're getting there. This would have been our final prediction, and it may still be if we do it just kind of through Discord. Will, you are currently up 7, I believe, or 6 actually.
Oh, fuck.
You're currently
Up
up
2 points.
Yeah, I did a clean sweep of Saturday night's main event.
Oh, I did not.
You did not. Yeah, you did not at all. So I was looking at our scores of Cyber real quick. I was looking at our scores for throughout the year, and I've been neck and neck with you for a lot of it. I realize at the score sheet where I bombed Elimination Chamber.
Did you?
And I
Ooh.
never recovered.
Yeah, that was early.
Yeah.
And then I went perfect for the last AEW card. I went like 8 for 8 without watching the product.
You always seem to beat me by like once, and it always kind of brings you up a little bit. Yeah, like
I have been consistently
Wow.
bad.
Well, welcome to the gun show.
So that's why I want to push for just doing a World's End off camera to see, just to figure it out and see if I can come back.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, put it in the Discord. I'll answer.
Yeah, so those are some of the big things that we are missing during our little bit of break. But now we are at the end of the year. Let's riff a little bit. Let's just go a little bit off the books. I really have nothing planned, but we're just gonna talk about the year in wrestling as a whole. Kay, what are your thoughts on the year in wrestling?
Well, WrestleMania was the most perfect thing I've ever seen.
And you weren't even there.
Bro, WrestleMania truly turned me around wrestling wise, because WrestleMania happened in like the heat of me having a hard time balancing like my job and like trying to do this show well, because it's not a secret that I wasn't. And I like wrestling was not keeping my interest for me to have fun doing the show. And then I watched Mania and I'm like, I'm fucking back. And then obviously it took some time to like juggle shit with like, again, my job, but WrestleMania brought me back. It made me feel like a joy with wrestling that I haven't felt in a very, very long time. Like, it felt like it did watching wrestling when we were children or like teenagers. Like, it was truly magical and perfect. Punk Hell in a Cell was fab for me.
That's probably my match of the year, to be honest.
Mine too. That is my match of the year. What else? I feel Joe Hendry.
I believe.
Fucking literally so much fun.
That I will tell you this, Kay. When Joe Hendry shows up at the Rumble, that place is going to lose their mind.
I know. It's going to be absolutely, truly crazy. And my prediction, I think he's number, I think 15 is my prediction for Joe Hendry.
Good spot for him.
Yeah, like in the little middle. What else happened this year? I feel like this year truly like was a crazy year.
It was. Well, Tereshak, what do you got? Just a little recap here.
I think my wrestler of the year is Solo. Carried the bloodline. Like, he was dead in the water up until Mania. And then post-Mania just took the reins, pardon the pun, took out Paul Heyman, brought in the tag guys who one's okay, the other one's kind of whatever, and then brought in Jacob.
Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga.
The Tongas. Yeah. And then brought in Jacob Fatu, and it was just off to the races. Took out Paul Heyman, pinned Cody Rhodes on a pay-per-view.
He did.
Pinned Roman Reigns on a pay-per-view.
Did that as well.
And has just been standing on his own 2 feet and keeping up with two of the biggest stars in the business in Roman Reigns as Cody, and as well as Cody, and holding his own. Now, where is he going from here? He's going to eat all those losses. He's got to give them all back. So I think it's going to be a rough finish for him, but he has shown that he is a solid wrestler, can carry a program, and is a force to be reckoned with, even if he's kind of lacking in height that you would typically want for a main event guy. He's got everything else. WrestleMania was obviously the show of the year. I'll put both nights and combining as one. I think night 2 was better than night 1, mainly because it wasn't as cold.
Yes. I agree 1,000% on that one.
WrestleMania was an incredible card. I love seeing Cody finish his story. The final of that show was ridiculous, but it was awesome. Having Taker come out, all of it was just incredible. Match of the year is definitely Punk and Drew, as well as feud of the year. They just really went at it. It was believable, and you didn't want it to end, but that match was a fitting end, and it was fantastic. And now Drew is back to take vengeance and to continue his story. Moment of the year is definitely the debut of the Wyatt Six. It was something.
What a moment!
Something that we've never seen before, and it was just so crazy. Like, Chad Gable got a bullet in the head and it's got bandage next week on Raw. Right? Like, Chad Gable was definitely breakout star of the year, even though he didn't win anything. He just kept improving and doing crazy things. Sami Zayn, another great talent, just continuing his path. Jey Uso was kind of dead in the water, and then he won that IC title, and now I think he's back as an established solo star. It's kind of odd. I was a little concerned with him going back into this Bloodline storyline, but it kind of gave him the boost and the kick in the ass he needed. And now as a single star again, I think he's going to be just fine. Jimmy, though, Big Jim, is that what he called himself on SmackDown?
I think something like that.
He is in trouble. He is going to struggle.
Well, he's not going to be wrestling for a while.
Yeah, probably.
I like how he made a joke about the only thing that didn't survive War Games was his big toe.
Was his big toe.
Yeah, I was like, it's true, though.
WWE is going head first into 2025. It's going to be a great year. My TKO stock is doing incredible, so keep that up. Yeah, man. And pretty much echoing what Kay said, WrestleMania was definitely, it reinvigorated my love for professional wrestling because it felt like I was a little kid watching wrestling during that whole week of WrestleMania. So I'm with NXT, then SmackDown Hall of Fame, then NXT, night 1, night 2, and then Raw. Yeah. So losing my voice, like
at the Paul Heyman speech.
You and Sir Charles were gonna drink like your tea and the salt, whatever, to get your voice back. I said no, fuck that. I'm losing my voice. I'm going for it.
It is literally just warm. It's literally just warm water with salt, and you gargle that.
Why didn't you want to drink warm water?
I wanted to lose my voice. It was a sign of a true fan.
It's also a sign of a cold too.
It probably wasn't a good idea. But yeah, 2024 is a hell of a year.
You podcast for a living.
I know,
You're
right?
blowing out your voice on purpose?
I didn't have anything scheduled that month other than this show, so it was fine. I got it back.
What?
So I got home, Tuesday afternoon?
Tuesday, yeah.
I got my voice back fully by Friday, so it was fine.
I remember Kay telling both of us, Kay was like, guys, try not to speak for the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all needed vocal rest.
It was crazy. For me and wrestling, I think the best way to encompass this year is it's the year that sports entertainment died.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's
it is the year Vince hung himself in more than one way. So Vince is completely gone. It's literally at the end of WrestleMania. If you watch the playback, Michael Cole says, "I love pro wrestling." That's when pro wrestling started to become a thing again, not just in every place outside of WWE, but also within WWE. A lot of the things that were faux pas were no longer faux pas anymore, and that's when we started to see a lot of that product in WWE change and kind of be more welcoming to the outside world. Tama Tonga Loa showed up. We finally get to hear her actual history from like New Japan and being the Guerrillas of Destiny and being a part of Bullet Club. Like Michael Cole also had this amazing resurgence and showed you how extremely knowledgeable about wrestling he is. Whether it was fed to him or not, he did amazing. Whether it was fed to him or not, we've never heard an announcer in WWE talk about the history of these performers outside of a WWE in such detail before. And that's something that WWE is like, we're going to open up the world. You have the TNA integration with NXT, which shocked everybody. This is also the year that Daniel Bryan retired.
Yeah.
We had the reign of timeless Tony Storm. You had who might be arguably my either breakout star, most improved star of the year, might even be superstar of the year. You have Swerve Strickland going on a tear in AEW. Swerve did it. Like, I know he did the job for Bryan Danielson, and it led to whatever. But All In was built on his back. And he deserved number 2. Ultimately, obviously, I think the superstar of the year is Cody Rhodes by and large. He's the biggest story. He was in the biggest match of the year. It stole the show pretty early on in April. What he did afterwards, is what it is. Roman had a great year, even though he was gone for half of it. But he proved his worth when he came back at SummerSlam and made the company $6 million in like a half hour.
Yeah, he did.
You can't deny wrestling is such in a good place. We're talking about TNA going to the UBS Arena where the Islanders play for Slammiversary next year. Like, wrestling's in a great place.
Yeah, the fact that TNA is doing an arena is... Like, I literally thought it was like in Hammerstein. That's why I was like, yeah, tickets are $12. It's going to be like a rinky-dink arena. But no, it's going to be like where professional sports play.
Yeah.
Which is huge for them, which is good.
It's massive for them.
Wrestling is very healthy. The pro wrestling environment is very healthy. And I definitely think, Rick, you capped it off perfectly. It's the death of sports entertainment and the rebirth of pro wrestling. Yeah. The culture and the vibe and the feel of WWE is much more welcoming to the point where the Vince damage didn't really do any damage. And like that positivity in that moment, in that energy that everyone backstage is feeling gets shown on screen. And as an audience member, you do eat it up and you feel it and you want to give them your money.
Yeah.
It's crazy how they pulled it off.
It's very we talked about it on the show, I think after Mania too. It was very noticeable how much fun everybody was having in that post-Vince era. Hell, Stephanie came back. Like,
I forgot about that.
Like specifically as a fan.
Yeah. But she made a public appearance after a very public "I'm out of here" like move. From her. Which is a big deal. There's rumors that she is still doing something, but it's not being detailed what. But she is
not an official position with the company.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, hell, she could be like, I'm volunteering my time, like
something
whatever.
like that. Yeah.
I mean, she has a universal backstage pass whenever she wants.
Yeah,
right?
she's a freaking McMahon.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's still her. Say what you want, but it's still her business.
Yeah. Even
if she's not involved in it or not legally and like ownership of it, it's still in the heart her business.
Exactly. So yeah, it's been a crazy year. I mean, like Kay said, the rise
Shane
of
almost went to AEW.
Shane was that false flag there. The rise of Joe Henry, and again also TNA. TNA is getting built because WWE did what AEW couldn't.
Yes.
And it's all the better for TNA. Like we got TNA chants on NXT.
Nice.
When they would show up. We got the return of the Rascals, Kay, for a while.
Yes, we did.
Like it's something that you would have never seen, like Zach Wentz coming back and redeeming himself. For him getting, fired for all the shit that happened with him and I think his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or whatever. But it's just been a wild. I think I've watched more wrestling this year than I have in any other year in a very, very long time. Because after a while, I was like, oh, AEW's kind of picking up. It's kind of getting interesting again. And AEW's finally starting to use some of their people that aren't the Young Bucks or Kenny Omega, because Kenny Omega is injured, and they're starting to move away from it. It might be too little too late because Ricky Starks is coming over, I believe, at some point to WWE. And if you saw the little hint of a promo, Pentagon's coming, and he's probably debuting on Raw.
I know Ray Phoenix really wants his release.
Yes, he does.
Didn't they add time to his contract?
Yeah. Because Tony was like, "You owe me time because you were injured."
I mean, fair.
Asshole.
Yeah.
That's industry standard, but Tony wasn't doing that for a while.
Yeah. But we talked about that. Like, you can't be like this revolutionary owner and do exactly what the previous head of wrestling did.
Yeah, but I feel like he's only doing that because Lucha Bros in WWE is imminent.
Yes, he's mad. And if he wanted to do that, do a no compete clause. Oh wait, you're not going to do that?
Yeah.
If it's in his contract, then do it. But like, it seems really weird, and especially because like the dude doesn't want to be there. So even if he had the opportunity to come back, why would he come back? Because now you're taking time away from him where he could be developing his craft somewhere else. But by and large, 2025 has been an absolutely wild year. I lost my voice in Mania. Hell, we might be going to TNA show. I didn't expect to go to TNA. Dolph Ziggler showed up on TNA. He's now the world champion. CM Punk actually did matches. Like, it's been a very, very wild year. We had Saturday night's main event. Tony was just being petty frets, yes. So it's been a crazy year. I think my superstar of the year is Cody. Overall, I think my female superstar of the year is between Timeless and Liv Morgan, because we forget Liv Morgan had a great year.
Yeah.
She did, but she needs to move away from Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I'm bored
That
of
does need to die out at some point, but I think that's happening at Raw, the Netflix Raw as well.
Yeah.
I think that story's going to end.
I didn't pick superstars of the year.
I'm just going on top of my head right now.
Yeah, for someone who wasn't on the Mania card too, Liv Morgan.
That's true.
She missed the first 3 months without doing anything. She was at the Rumble, did nothing. Chamber did nothing.
Then she took it, and she involuntarily took out Rhea.
Yeah.
She injured
Yeah,
Rhea
and
by
then-
she injured Rhea by mistake.
Yeah, and then that was it. And I still think she was going to win the title from Rhea, like within the same timeline.
Mm-hmm.
You just swapped out Becky instead.
That's one of the stories of the year, though, is the Liv Dom Rhea triangle and that turn at SummerSlam. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I
go ahead.
I loved, just a sidebar. I loved, what did Rhea call Liv? A chicken nugget slut last night.
Yeah.
Chicken
a
tendy
nugget
slut. It's called
Chicken
Dom-
tendy.
A chicken tendy slut. I'm sorry.
Well, it's like guilty, so am I.
Line of the year.
Yeah.
Everyone loves chicken tendies.
Who doesn't love chicken tendies? You know, like my most improved might be Gable. Actually, no, my most improved is probably Gable. My breakout is between Swerve and Oba Femi, but I'm probably gonna go with Oba because Oba is an absolute monster.
Yeah, breakout would have been last year for Swerve, not this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oba this
Yeah.
year for sure.
Tag team, I'm gonna go Jade and Bianca because I can't name another tag
They're
team.
the most prominent tag team
in
all of wrestling.
They definitely were the most prominent tag team. Yeah, probably in all of wrestling because I can't name another tag team in their accomplishment, really.
You know, yeah. So it's interesting. Shock of the year is probably something John Moxley did in AEW when he tried to murder half the roster on a pay-per-view. So there's that. Or you can put when Hangman almost killed Swerve in that Unsanctioned Lights Out match.
Shock of the year.
Plus the New Day breaking up.
Let's not talk about that. Still too soon.
Yeah, that could have been the shock of the year. How they just murdered Big E with words.
Yeah. So apparently on Raw this past yesterday, they got kicked out of a locker room. Rey Mysterio
I saw. I did see
Rey Mysterio's
that.
like,
They
you
got
can't
booed
come
the
in.
locker room.
So apparently they went outside and just started riffing on the crowd outside, like insulting all of them.
That's funny.
It was in Boston too.
Yeah.
Let's see, shock of the year.
I don't know what my shock is. I mean, controversy of the year for me.
Oh, Taker coming back. Taker with that choke slam.
That was a great.
We all thought it was Austin.
All signs pointed to Austin.
Yeah,
All
and when it was
signs
Taker,
pointed to
yeah,
Austin.
I was shocked it was Taker.
All was. I think the best reaction of Taker coming back. You ever see Logan Paul's video of that?
Yeah, he's losing his mind.
he literally puts hands on head. It's like he's like, I don't know what's going on. Controversy obviously is all the Vince stuff.
Yeah,
the death of Vince McMahon, which is the death of sports entertainment.
It's so sad.
You ever die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain? And
Yeah,
it's Vince.
Well, I think he was always the villain.
He was always the
That's
villain.
The problem.
Yeah.
That's the
For
problem.
sure.
We just ignored it for a very long time.
I think listen. I still love Vince. I still appreciate Vince, but yeah, he's a fucking monster.
Yeah,
It's a tough relationship. Me and Vince McMahon, man who's never met me.
Yeah, yeah. Who is the biggest return of the year?
Roman.
That is a monumental return.
Yeah.
Moment of the year, obviously the WrestleMania main event.
Jesse Ventura. No one had that on the big red card in January.
I think another big moment was at All In when Nigel came back to wrestle.
Yes, that's a great one.
That was a great
was
one.
No one
Crazy
saw
too.
that coming either.
Not even the crowd. The crowd lost its shit for Nigel. I was so happy for him. And then he wrestled at Grand Slam.
Yeah, Fretz has a good point. Heel Rock was a very
Hollywood.
good.
I mean, Final Boss Hollywood Rock.
Yeah,
yes.
Final Boss Hollywood Rock is definitely was definitely a shock.
Final Boss Hollywood Rock was great. I'm trying to think what else. Obviously, the Hell in a Cell was a masterclass. It's good. Oh, we also don't forget. I mean, she's kind of been up and down, but I think it also needs to be mentioned. Jade's WrestleMania performance, I thought, was booked perfectly for her.
Yes, very good.
They made her look like $1 million fucking bucks in that. From her presentation to like her entrance presentation to her being the hot tag, and didn't she caught like Kyrie Sane like midair?
Yeah,
Or
her in the
something
Rumble.
like-
Her in the Rumble debut was
Her Rumble debut was also fantastic.
yeah,
Jesus
coming out of the gate
Christ.
hot.
Yeah. I would probably say most improved was probably Nia. Nia had a great year.
Nia had a great year. Another match of the year is definitely AJ and Cody in France.
Yes, they were fun.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
they were
that
fun.
was great.
all of Backlash, really. I think the French,
was
honestly,
so
no, I
much
take it back. The
fun.
French crowd was the shock of the year. I was just like, yeah, but they're French, and they're like, oh yeah, Will, how about you go fuck yourself?
Literally.
I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
And then they did the
I'll leave
Olympic
that out.
opening ceremony in France, and Jesus Christ, what a moment that was.
Mhm.
That opening ceremony is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Gunther had a great year as well. Gunther's
Yep.
probably the most consistent.
Yeah, definitely most consistent.
Most consistent.
Mhm.
Like, he's one of the people he survived the shock upset at Mania.
Yeah.
To go
Well,
on to
notice-
still be
notice
better.
He found his character.
Yeah.
He put the final pieces into his puzzle. Now he's the complete package.
Yeah. He's absolutely amazing in any match.
And who would have known it would be calling Damian Priest street trash to make him do it.
That was
Never
when he
shirts.
said that. I was like, oh, okay. And when he remember when he called out Goldberg in Atlanta?
Yes.
my favorite wrestler is Bret Hart.
Gunther Gunther straight up just turned into an internet troll. That was his character. That's his character, dude, and it's fucking great.
Come on, Bill. I got 5 minutes for you.
I got 5 minutes for you.
I was good. Fallon Henley and NXT did have a good year. Mr. Women's Wrestling fan. Drew McIntyre just being a hater. And let's do this. Entrance of the year. I know what my entrance of the year is.
I liked Kevin Owens and Randy Orton coming down on the ATV.
Randy's telling him to slow down.
Yeah.
Mine also comes from Mania. It's Seth Rollins Night 2. Coming out
mine too, actually.
Coming out with
the mummers.
The mummers.
Yes, that was pretty great.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That was fucking hysterical. That might be my entrance of the year. I don't think, is there anything else we want to cover from this past year in wrestling?
We saw CM Punk hold a live baby.
Yes, we did. And yes, wrestling fans took over the first ever Fanatics Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
That
did.
was really cool.
Yeah. The Paul Heyman and Sam Roberts interview was excellent.
Yeah.
As well as Fanatics Fest, NYC. But I think that we saw Paul Heyman almost retire at Madison Square Garden. Like,
Yeah.
like if Paul Heyman, when Paul Heyman says, like, I don't know when I'm going to come back, whenever it's good for business, whenever it's good for me,
Yeah, he was right.
but like, could we imagine if the last time we ever saw Paul Heyman on TVs, he got powerbombed at MSG? Like, if I'm Paul Heyman, I'm like, I'm not coming back. I just got powerbombed at MSG on a SmackDown.
I think the moment of the year too is his Hall of Fame speech where we're all chanting, "You deserve it." And he's like, "You goddamn fucking right, I deserve it." That's the moment I lost my voice. That right there.
I cried my eyes
I
out.
screamed so loud. That's when my voice was gone.
Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame speech is one of the best speeches I've ever heard in person.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, fuck commencement speeches. Fuck my dad's motivational speeches. That was the speech.
It was excellent. Absolutely excellent, the Paul Heyman speech. Yeah, it was just a good year of wrestling. I met Zilla Vasu at Comic-Con too. I forgot. I also did that as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Nice kid. Very, very nice kid. Very approachable, very nice. He's coming soon, probably. I think he's running MLW right now. Because they just signed another Samoan to the PC. So, and we got the rebirth of WWE going back to the Indies with the ID program.
That too.
Which one of their
I
signees
also
is
really liked watching Survivor Series with my family. I was like, you see that guy? He's The Rock's cousin. These guys also
The Rock's cousin.
You see her?
She's also The Rock's cousin.
You see him? He's Samoan, but he's not The Rock's cousin. He's the other guy's cousin.
But he's close.
He's close. My brother goes, how many cousins does he have? I'm like, yeah, all of Samoa comes from like 3 families.
You should have shown him the family tree.
I should have.
Like that many.
I was like, you see that girl? She married The Rock's cousin, pointing at Naomi.
That's so true. That's so true. Also, WB signed Julia and Stephanie Becker and Zarya Pretty much a month. I was talking about this with Charles before the show started. A month after Stephanie Becerra was at Forbidden Door, went up against Mercedes. She then signed with WWE.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that match.
I remember laughing, being like, "Wow, it was just a tryout match for WWE, and it worked."
Tryout successful,
and it worked. And and it's possible everything goes well since she's part of already the WWE ID program. Kylie Ray could be coming to WWE.
Ooh,
that would be cool.
Yeah, because she got signed by the ID program, so they're gonna follow her, and it was good because I know Kylie Ray was gone for a while, so good for good for her for kind of making her resurgence and stuff. And I think indie wrestling's gonna come back a lot in 2025. Oh yeah, forgot.
I agree.
The Motor City Machine Guns debuted in WWE.
Oh yeah, I saw them win the titles.
Yeah, and they're doing great. They're doing great. And I think last but not least, we got R-Truth had a great year.
R-Truth
always has a great year. Let's be real.
He posted on Kurt Angle's birthday a picture of Chad Gable and said, "Happy birthday, Kurt." And how he can't tell the difference between Pete and Butch.
Oh my God. Last night, son of a butch.
Yeah, it's an R-Truth won his first ever Mania match.
Oh my God, that was incredible. That was one of my favorite moments of the year. I totally forgot until just now.
R-Truth won his first ever Mania match in the triple threat ladder match, or the fatal four-way ladder match, whatever the ladder match was. But yeah, no, that was a good moment. But yeah, I think that covers it all. Any other things that we've got here?
WWE 2K24 had a great
excellent
year.
game. Excellent game.
Great
yes.
game. Very fun game. How many hours did they waste on that game?
GM mode was a great game.
57. Great game.
GM mode was also good on that as well.
Yeah, I still never finished the WrestleMania mode, whatever it is, like the highlights. I you know what it was? I did the Austin and Brett 97 match. I hated playing as Bret Hart, and I lost and never went back. I lost the match. I'm like, fuck this. I'm never playing it again. I just went straight back to my faction.
My faction, yeah. God, yeah. I think that's it. Anything else, Kay?
No, I went to a bunch of wrestling shows in the last year, so it was nice to start going to shows again.
Yeah. Yeah, now we all got to find a show to do next year if it's not SummerSlam or Slammiversary.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
I hope so. I know.
Figure it out. But yeah, I think that's about it. So we're gonna take a month off now for the holiday season and all the stuff. We may come back probably at a new time. All of that stuff will be posted up there when we figure it out. Potentially a bunch of new stuff in the new year, but we're gonna work on it in this next month and also open a lot of presents. I think.
Hell yeah.
So many presents.
So many presents. So many presents. So many socks. I'm going to get so many socks. I need socks.
I love getting socks for Christmas.
I need socks so badly. I did get
Just
Coquito,
what do you want
though.
for Christmas, I just go, clothes. I have no sense of style. You do. Dress me.
Dress me, please.
I asked for accessories for my Kindle.
Nice. That's good investment.
Yeah, I asked for the page turner so I can read in bed under the covers, and a stand so I don't have to hold it myself.
Nice. And then,
I'm gonna be cozy.
An AI voice so it reads for you,
Oh no, I like reading it myself. I only listen to audiobooks to get to my Goodreads goal faster.
Touche.
Yeah, thanks.
Maybe I'll go on Goodreads. I don't know. I'm not there yet.
It's fun. Well, I wouldn't say fun. I like tracking my progress. It's fun for me.
You can rate the Unabomber's manifesto on there.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, you can. Oh my god. All right.
What a guy.
Let's get the fuck out of here. No pre-show. Let's just cut it off for this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm tired. It's 10 o'clock.
We did keep you on a little bit late, didn't we?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the final time this year, you have been listening to Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 397 of the year in review of wrestling for 2024. I'm your host, King Ricky Rose. You can find me at Ambassador Biggs across all social media outlets, BIGZ, Ambassador Biggs, some people's DMs, less people's text messages. Find Kings of the Rings podcast at KOTR _podcast across all social media outlets. Like, share, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and most importantly, while we're gone, please vote for us for the best wrestling podcast, as we are a finalist in the Sports Podcast Awards format category. The link to all of that is in the description below. If you are listening to us, make sure you are listening to us on Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure for the common wrestling podcast, home to the Young Lives Perspective podcast, the Fretzelmania podcast, and the Brace for Impact podcast, as well as the Kings of the Rings podcast. Find Wrestle Addict Radio socials at addict_wrestle on Twitter for who knows how much longer, and at Wrestle Addict Radio, all one word, everywhere else. Will Tarashock, happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that hot shit.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, guys. Happy New Year. I hope you all have fun enjoying your holidays. I am driving all over God's green earth.
It sucks.
Just here to Boston and then back in like 3 days. But that's the thing I do for my family. So yeah, 2024, excellent year. Thank you to everybody. Willie T Productions also had a great year. I finally turned a fucking profit for once. So
there you go.
I'm glad after 10 years I finally figured out how to make money through podcasting. But Kings of the Rings is always my fun passion project where I don't care about business. I don't care about anything. I just come on with my friends, have fun, and talk about something I love with people I love. So, Frets, thank you as well for being in our chat every single week. Appreciate you, buddy. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you. And 2025 is going to be an excellent year for everyone. Because Kay Murphy, you're getting married. I can't wait for the wedding. Kay Murphy, take us home.
Please.
Y'all, I'm getting married. I'm very excited. 2024 was definitely a year. Got engaged, kind of had a reawakening of my passion with podcasting. So I hope to come back next year more coherent, making logos again, coming back to myself. And yeah, you can find me on, where can you find me?
Where?
TikTok for like five more seconds.
That too.
You can find me on TikTok for the next 30 seconds. If you want to see if I am able to follow my reading goal, you can find me on Goodreads. You can also find me on Instagram and Threads at KAE_FABE.
All right, yeah. So by the time we come back next year, a lot of things will have changed. Raw will be on Netflix. AEW is actually going to be streaming live simultaneously on Max as well as TNT and TBS. So we have to watch AEW on Max as well.
You can watch AEW now.
You can watch AEW again. Congratulations, Will. You're probably not going to at all. Who knows who's going to show up where? We got surprises, returns. We may probably also get nominated again for Best Wrestling Podcast on the trajectory that we're going. And oh yeah, there is a surprise that I think only I know about that's coming in the new year as well. Maybe someone else on the show also knows about it. But until next year, folks, goodbye, good night. We'll see you soon. Except for maybe Slack. Fuck you, Slack.
Yeah, Slack. Fuck you.
Yeah. We're good. We're getting out of here. Yeah, fuck you, Slack. We'll say it again in the new year too. All right, folks. See you.
Amazing.
Midnight music.